It's your boy Jermaine back with another walking tour, and today we are in the East Cut neighborhood. This is hands down my favorite neighborhood in the city. There's a lot of reasons why it is. We'll get into it. So anyway, yo, let's get this video started. Make sure you are watching this on your Oculus in 4K. Or no, make sure you're watching this on Oculus with the settings on high, and also make sure you're watching this on your 4K TV. Either one, whatever. You guys get what I'm trying to say. I'm confusing my words here. But as of now, I'm just gonna go a little walk. I'm gonna start right around here is First Street. We'll go straight up first and we'll go around. There's a lot of really cool buildings in this area. This place hasn't opened yet. It's supposed to be like a little small shop, right? Hasn't opened yet. One reason I really like this neighborhood so much, everything's modern, and there's a lot of stuff that was built like less than 10 years ago. Like lots of really cool buildings like this, even down there. And then there's this big one too. This is like an alleyway. It goes straight down. And here we have 500 Folsom here. This is one of my favorite buildings in the city. I mean, maybe if I had to pick a new building to move in, maybe I would pick Folsom to be the favorite. But I don't think it's my favorite in the whole city. My favorite in the whole city is just right up the street here. But this building here off to the left, you kind of can't see it because we're at the base of it. When we get at the top of this hill, you can see this one here a little bit better. But this building here is a little interesting because this one actually has two different entrances. So this entrance is for the higher levels, 488. The other entrance, 450, are for the lower levels. I think that building's 58 stories, so like probably like in the middle somewhere. You know, you would go through one door, and then if you're below a certain level, you'll go through another door. I know some people are gonna say, oh, it's one of those buildings if they have a rich door and a poor door. Not exactly. 488 is like where you can own them, and 450 is leasing. So it's not exactly you know, a difference. And over here, we just got some views of this city. It's kind of early in the morning. I really wanted to make a video today. Well, I wanted to make a video yesterday because I'm trying to have a video come out every day of the month of February, since February is somewhat of a short month. And then I woke up this morning and I'm like, crap, I don't have a video, so let's go do a walking tour. And since it's the East Cut, like, come on, like, I love walking around the East Cut. These buildings here, these are like really new. I remember when I first moved here about 6 years ago, it was like nothing in this neighborhood except for, like, you know, traffic getting on the Bay Bridge, but it wasn't much. Now these were here, but I remember this building here. This is the Jasper. This taller skyscraper here. One unique thing about the Jasper is a lot of units have balconies, right? A lot of you look at a lot of the newer skyscrapers that they're building nowadays, a lot of them don't have balconies. We look over at 500 Folsom. There's a few balconies. I've toured 500 Folsom a couple times, but there's actually very few balconies. Like, not every apartment has a balcony. Only certain ones have balconies. I think they changed that because of you know, people jumping out of buildings and stuff like that. But yeah, the Jasper is pretty cool. Now there's a big difference between these buildings here versus these down here. Now if you guys can tell, if you've been in the city, you know what I'm talking about. But this here is a hill, right? This is a big hill. Whoa, and this truck is moving. Anyway, don't want to get hit by a truck that's just creeping back. Okay, so this is a hill, right? And at the bottom of this hill, believe it or not, this part of the city could very well flood. Like if you go pull up a flood map of San Francisco, it actually could be a little creepy. I looked at one flood map and it said like basically it could flood all the way up to like Market and like 9th Street or something like that, which is insane to even think about. And don't be afraid. I doubt the city will flood like that, but it very well could because the city is really flat in that area. But if you live up here, this is a massive hill. I don't think it's gonna flood this much. So very well, like worst case scenario, we could be in a scenario where like, you know, if we had some major flood, that part of the city could literally be underwater. But if you live up here, you could, you know, you could be chilling in your apartment with no electricity. Because, you know, if the city's underwater, you're probably not gonna have electricity in your fancy building on the top of the hill, but at least your house won't be wet, you know? You have to just, you know, get some solar panels off AliExpress or something. But you would have to do that before, you know, the flood happened. All right, so up ahead, this is one Rincon. This is my favorite building in the city. Hands down my favorite building in the city. And locals hate this building. They hate this building. And the reason why locals hate this building is because this was one of the first buildings they put up in this neighborhood. Yeah, I remember during the financial crisis, units were going for like $500,000 in this building, you know? It's definitely not like that today. But yeah, like locals just hated this building because they said, oh yeah, it's so big, you can see it from everywhere. You know, it takes up so much space, it changes the skyline. Nowadays, people don't complain about it so much because there's so many other buildings to complain about. You know, now the building that everyone complains about is Salesforce Tower, which is honestly, let's just go ahead and face it. It's the most beautiful building in all of San Francisco, Salesforce Tower. Like, let's just go ahead and say it. People that live in this neighborhood would appreciate that statement. If you don't like this neighborhood, if you don't like skyscrapers, if you don't like, you know, this type of living, you know, maybe you will say, oh, they're horrible, they're bad, they're gonna make the ground sink. Yeah. But I love it, it's great. It's the best neighborhood in all of San Francisco. Well, the reason why I say it's the best neighborhood in all of San Francisco is because I like watch so many of these buildings go up. And I think that's why I have this different love for this part of SF. So here we have it, the Harrison. Yo, if you got a lot of money, you want to live here. This building on the inside, yo, if you ever want to come to the city and like just go see a tour of, you know, a very, very modern, fancy place, go here, go check out a tour. I think apartments are like $2 million for a cheap one. Bro, this building is like insane, yo. Like all the decorations and stuff. It definitely doesn't have that modern feel. It's very cluttered. It almost looks like a museum inside. Versus a lot of these other buildings have like this whole modern look to it, you know? Especially like, you know, one Rincon Hill, you walk inside, you don't see a bunch of pictures on the wall, you don't see vases, you don't see all kinds of artwork and, you know, shit from the 1930s around. It's just very modern, and a lot of buildings have that very modern feel. This one doesn't. It has a very, they put it like this, they hired a different type of interior designer at this building, y'all, and it looks really cool inside. Like, no joke, like it looks really cool. Elevator is just beautiful, yo. Like they just do a really good job. I don't know, I think when I was younger growing up, I grew up in Tennessee, and in Tennessee no one lives in a big building, you know, everybody lives in a house. And I remember my mom would take me downtown, and I would love going downtown. Like, you would walk into a big building and there's like someone sitting at a desk and they're like, hello, how are you? And then you go upstairs, you get on the elevator, and then you go to this building, and you know, you look out the view at the top and it's like, wow. And then you go to this other building and you see this, and I just fell in love with it, yo. So I'm all about building life. Living in a house sucks, if you ask me. It's boring, you know? You can't even hear people have sex next door, you know what I mean? No, I'm joking. That was totally a joke. Another big building. Continue to go down. I actually want to cross. So we'll keep going down Folsom. This is Folsom. This is very, very popular East Cut Street. Two other buildings here. This is another skyscraper. I'm not really a big fan of this one. I would have to say, I don't want to really say too many negative things about this building, but I would say, like, out of all the buildings in this area, this is probably the one I would not want to stay at. Literally out of all of these. And it's just, I don't know. Like, I've explored a lot of these buildings, and I would say this one would be at the bottom of the list. 340 Fremont. Buildings that would definitely be at the top would this is 399 Fremont. Yo, this place is stunning. Like, it is literally stunning. Like, the differences between this building and this building are like, they're vastly different. This building behind me here, you know, some units have balconies. This building also has a rooftop area that everyone can't go to the rooftop area. I think you have to live above the 33rd floor, but it's an insane rooftop area. This building has no rooftop area. I don't know, this building's built, it's just built very, very different. I don't really want to go into it in this video, but it's just built very, very different versus a lot of these other buildings around. I've explored a lot of places around, and I've noticed similar characteristics to like all the other buildings in this neighborhood, except for this one. This one really sticks out quite a bit. Prices, that's probably going to be one of the cheaper buildings to live in here. Just because there's I mean when you go and look at things like appliances, you know, the appliances are, you know, a little bit different in that building. You look at things like, you know, you look at the tiles, and you know, you look at the decorations in the hallway. You look at the elevator, right? It's everything is a little bit on the, we trying to save money side, you know. And these other buildings are not like that. This here is a cemetery. Kind of weird, but yeah, it is a cemetery. There's people buried here. I would imagine someday soon that this is probably gonna be a skyscraper, but for now looks like it's a cemetery. It must be someone really important to be buried like right here in the middle of freaking SF. I mean, this could literally be a $200-300 million building here, you know, but it's a cemetery, you know, and it says no trespassing. There must be someone really important that is down there. Now, someone has asked me before, you know, like how long do these take to build? This is a question I've seen. I think it takes, for the most part, it takes about 1 to 2 years. It really depends on, you know, the size and all that, but it takes about like maybe like 1 to 2 years. This is more of the East Cut neighborhood. I'm trying to figure out which way to go. I really want to go straight, but there's some pretty cool, that building right there is very, very popular around here. The whole twisted deal. If I'm not mistaken, you can actually buy in that building, this white building here. A lot of these buildings you cannot buy. It's only for lease. I can actually point out the ones you can buy. You can buy units in 450, well actually 488. 500 Folsom is leasing. This building here is leasing only. This is a cool building here. Also, these two here, these two round ones, actually you can't see them all, but there's actually 4 round ones. These are all for purchase, but those are actually really expensive. Like really expensive. And then also The 401 is for sale. Also 142. And the one I don't like, this 340 is leasing, and 399 is leasing. 399 is pretty epic, especially if you're looking out towards this way. Like if you're looking out towards this way, yeah, it is pretty dang epic. Hint hint, if anyone is watching this video and you want to start a business, right, come to this neighborhood and start a dog walking business. I'm telling you, this information I'm giving you in this video is worth like so much money. Just come here and start a dog walking business. I spent a lot of time in this neighborhood, and it seems like a lot of people have dogs here. So if you come down here and start a dog walking business or a dog training business, you can literally print money and you can stay in one area and you can have all your work in one area. And then if you even move to this area, guess what? You can do everything in one area. How smart is that, you know? Instead of commuting an hour to get to work every day, you can just do it all at one place. It's just the backside of, I don't even know what you call it. Do you call it 540 or do you call it 488? But it looks like there's some pretty interesting balconies here on the backside, farther up. But those could be like shared balconies. But I think on the other side there's more balconies here too. And then this building looks very, very interesting on the backside, like all the wood color. If I'm not mistaken, I think this building may be a low-income building. I could be wrong on that. I know for sure that these buildings are. These are low-income buildings here. It's really, really cheap to live here. Look at the differences. I mean, it's definitely not a high-rise or a skyscraper, but it's, you know, they use these hardy panels on the outside. These are very inexpensive. Continue. I think those like hardy panels cost like $20 or something. I mean, that's pretty cheap, you know. But that is the part that's on the outside of the building. This intersection is always like traffic because this is people getting off the Bay Bridge entering the city. And then the one street over is First Street. It's just the opposite. And then look at this fancy building. That's a office building, no one lives there. We're pretty much out of the living area. This is more residential. I mean, you got a lot of office buildings, but there's another building here that is residential that's super sick. We call it the Facebook building. That is one sick building, right? Oh my gosh. There's a unit in here on the 60th floor. They're asking for like $2 million, no, $5 million. The views are just so insane, yo. I mean, you're way up there. And the cool thing about this building on the 60th floor, of course, if you was at, you know, 399 Fremont, you would actually be higher, you know, because it's on that big hill. But the cool thing about this is you're closer to Market Street. You know, when you're at 399 Fremont, you're far from Market Street. But here, like, Market's like 2 blocks away, you know? This is Howard Street. So, I mean, who don't want to be close to Market? I don't know whatever happened to this building. This is a very, very weird looking building. It has all these balconies at the top. This is one of those buildings that like opened up recently. But when something opened up recently, that means that it opened up during the pandemic. So, I don't know. I've never really seen a lot of people over here. You know, you just see people working downstairs. So here, this used to be the old Transbay bus terminal. Temporary Transbay bus terminal, because they were going to move the Transbay terminal to that building over there. That's the Transbay terminal now. It stretches a few blocks. You can only see like a bit of it right here. But yeah, this was the old Transbay terminal. Now it looks like they got a gym out here, which is, I don't know, I think it's you guys talk about the gym in the comments, but a gym outside, I mean, I just don't really get it. You know, it's kind of weird. Especially right now, like it's kind of cold outside. You know. That is a beautiful building, you know. It's really expensive though. Not as expensive as these. Holy cow, those are really expensive. Someone was telling me that these buildings are more expensive because, so in the city, if you build something like this, you have to dedicate like 25% of the building to low income. So that way it's not like all fancy. So what developers will do is they'll like build a building like this, and then they'll figure out another place to build. They'll build another building for the 25%. So that way, like this is just a rich building, you know, and the 25% goes somewhere else. Versus like this building here, the 25%, I think they live in this smaller building over here, in this smaller building, I think. And then they have this building for, you know, the people that want to pay more. But yeah, and this building has no 25% in the building. So I mean, to someone looking to buy a unit, think about it, if you got $10 million and you're looking to buy like, you know, a 2-bedroom for $2 million, do you want to live in this building with all rich people? Or do you want to live in another building? I'm not going to point to another building here, but if you want to live in another building with like, you know, you're still going to pay $2 million, but yet you're going to get on the elevator with people that, you know, work for the post office, you know? So it makes this building way more desirable. Just because like if you got the dollars to spend, like why not, you know? And then, you know, you pick and choose. I mean, maybe you like this one more than you like some of these other ones. I mean, you look at the top here, there's some long balconies at the top there. And they also have a lot of small ones too. But yeah, that place is really fancy. But I'm not really a fan of these. I think they look kind of old school and weird. I'm just more a fan of you know, this style, and also the ones on First Street. And this is also the old Greyhound station, which Greyhound station is not it's not open anymore. It moved to the Transbay Terminal too. Wow, so this is private property, huh? Huh. I mean, so is walking through the mall parking lot. It's private property too. So they have just built this area up, made it look all nice and modern. Look at these buildings. A little dog walking area. We're down at Spear Street. I love Spear Street. I love how they made Spear Street look like all weird, and you mix it with flowers and trees, and then this sort of area to sit on. Now, a question that people always throw out, they say, yo, this neighborhood does not have any bars. And I think the closest bar you're probably gonna really get to is this bar. It's a restaurant bar. That it's kind of on the fancy side. That's not a place I would just want to go to and like have a beer on, you know, Tuesday at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, that place is a little bit on the fancier side. I don't really know of any bars, but check this out. There's a lot of places for lease, right? And there's a lot of people that have moved into this neighborhood, so it's probably just a matter of time. You know, it's probably just a matter of time before there's bars. It's just Sweet Green. I picked up here from Uber Eats yesterday. They have like a dedicated place to pick up from. It's super easy. Super easy. I love this location.
Oh, shit, Jermaine, what's up, man?
What's going on?
How you doing, bro?
Good, good, good. How you doing? Okay, yeah, I will. 10:30? Yeah. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, Sweet Green is a place I love. I think it's a really, really awesome like fast food chain that's popping up. You know, they specialize in healthy food. It's not a vegan restaurant. I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, if you're a vegan, you can only invest in vegan companies. So that's not the rules I'm going by. Maybe in the future they'll grow and become larger and larger, but I really, really like the whole style, and I like the way they're going, you know. It's a company I'm really paying a lot of attention to. Check out these buildings around here, yo. They're looking beautiful. Look at these people doing the windows way up there. Gosh, look at all those balconies up there. That's the one I want to go explore. But that one's one that you kind of can't explore because it's like an office building. Office building, so like, it's not like you can just, you know, call them up and say, hey, I want to go on a tour. I want to see unit 337, you know. And this is one of the only supermarkets downtown. It's right behind this zero emissions bus. Woodland Markets. I've never been here. I never went in there once. Yeah, it seems like one of those like local San Francisco markets. San Francisco has a lot of these little local shops, these little local grocery stores, these little local places that like only the local people go to. And one that I've been to is Rainbow. And holy cow, the prices at Rainbow, like on some things it's normal price, but on other things it's like, bro, you're literally charging 5 times what they're charging at Safeway. Like 5 times, you know. And people just go there because it's like a co-op, so like no one owns it and everyone makes the same amount of money, which I don't know. I don't really. I think that's kind of not a big fan of that whole lifestyle. I think it's better that people make different amounts of money based on what you do. But that's just me. I love these views. And it's my favorite neighborhood. So this building right in front, this has a really cool rooftop. You can't really see it. It's also this brown building. It's not a skyscraper or anything, but this building has a really cool rooftop. You can kind of see some of the trees on the top. But once I made a delivery in this building, and I just decided to go up to R, because sometimes when you're making a delivery in a building, you can go to the rooftop. So I just went to the rooftop, and it was pretty sick. But I like rushed back downstairs really fast because I left my bike locked up because I was doing a delivery. And yeah, don't want to leave your bike locked up on these streets too long because bikes get stolen around here. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I wanted to put out a video today, so I'm gonna go home and like upload this one in. Thanks a lot for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and peace out, yo.